I just realized I forgot my props. I didn't forget my props. They're literally right there. Hey worlders, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma and it is time for my December TBR. I think I did a December TBR last year, but I don't think I followed the rules that I want to follow moving forward for December TBRs. So if you're new to my channel, I do a wheel of TBR. I typically do 5 spins, 1 audiobook, and 4 physical books. And typically I try to work on my unread TBR. But for December, I'm going to change it just a little bit where I will do rereads during the year if like the reread circle comes up, or if I can make a prompt fit for a book that has like an adaptation coming out that I want to read. But for December, I will continue to have my 5th spin for an audio, but then I'm going to try to choose 2 books that I've never read before and 2 rereads. That way in the middle of the month, I am reading rereads so that I can better film my end of the year videos with books that I've not read. I really hope that makes sense. My batteries have been acting really weird recently, so I'm going to try to get through this intro as fast as possible. There's one book that I would like to try to get on my TBR for December though, and that would be Capturing the Devil by Kerri Maniscalco. I would probably make it the last book I read in December, but I want to do that because for the last 3 years, this would be the 4th year, the 2nd book I finish in the year has been from the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and Capturing the Devil is the last one I have to read. So I'm going to try to make that work, and I'm going to try to make it for my audio pick. Going over what I was supposed to read last month. For my audio pick, it was Clap When You Land. It came up for the Goodreads recommendation spin, and I'm about halfway through it, so I will get a white circle for that. On to the physical books. The How and the Why was for the 5W spin. I did not read this. Honey Girl was for a 5-star prediction. I have currently soft DNF'd it about halfway through. Was not feeling it. For an
I'm having trouble hearing you.
For an LGBTQIA representation pick, I chose Squad. I did not read that. And for a book with disability rep, I chose Darling Rose Gold, which is upside down, I'm now realizing. So is Honey Girl. Sorry guys. And I did read that. I am actually currently reading a physical book that a friend loaned to me. And I do try to prioritize books that were loaned to me, especially books that weren't like passed on. Like this book was passed on. I don't think my friend wants it back, but the one I am reading my friend does want back. So I do try to prioritize those books, which is why these 2 books got really pushed from my TBR. But yeah, because I did not start Squad or the How and the Why, I will be taking 2 red circles this month. And we're gonna add a red circle to the board. It's never good when there's 4 red circles on the board either. I don't know what this is. Oh, I forgot I have this. So this is more of a challenge one, but if I spin this one, it means I have to start the whole entire TBR over. So there's that. So spin number 1. A book with the number in the title. The wheel spun a book with a number in the title. For this, I'm going to be rereading The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one of my all-time favorite books. It is up there with Anne of Green Gables. I love this book. This book is about a woman named Evelyn Hugo, and she decides that after keeping her life very secret for the past, her whole career, that she will grant 1 interview to 1 journalist, and she tells her whole life story to this journalist who she has a secret connection with. I love this book. I love some of the representation in this book. There's some representation that I relate to, and then there's some representation that I don't feel that I have the right to say whether it's good representation or not, but for the representation that I relate to, I really like it. I ended up giving this book like 5 stars a few years ago, and I'm really excited to reread it. And yeah, I love it. I also heard that they're making like either a movie or a TV show, out of this book. I'm not 100% sure if that's true, but it also kind of gives me Taylor Swift vibes. Like, I saw something on TikTok recently that like the still from The Man, I'll put it up here, is like the order that it's coming, like her re-releases will come out in, and that like the karma behind where she is standing is going to be a tell-all book. And there's just something about this book that makes me think of Taylor Swift. I think it's the secretiveness behind her relationships. But either way, I'm very, very, very excited to reread this book, and I hope that it does not disappoint. And draw number 2. This one. A second chance book. So this is a book that I have started, soft DNF'd, or just kind of got distracted and didn't finish. This would be the soft. I would have to read one of those. All right, spin number 2. A sophomore book. So this is the second book published by an author. The Wheel spun a sophomore book as one of the circles. I did some light research, and I believe that this book is a sophomore book for this author. I have wanted to read this book, reread this book for a long time. I have not read this book since like middle school, high school time, and I remember loving it then, so I'm really interested to see if I will love it again. But that is Tears of a Tiger by Sharon M. Draper. I'm going to read you guys the summary because I remember loving it when I was in middle school, but I don't remember a lot of what it's about. But it says, in one horrifying night, Andy's life changed forever. Andy Jackson was driving that car that crashed one night after a game, killing Robert Washington, his best friend and the captain of the Hazelwood High Tigers. It was late and they'd been drinking, and now months later, Andy can't stop blaming himself. As he turns away from family, friends, and even his girlfriend, he finds he is losing the most precious thing of all, his ability to face the future. I cannot wait to reread this. I loved it. Loved it. It's like told in mixed media, which is something that I adore. I'm really interested to see though how I feel now at 27. I think I'm 27. How I feel now at 27 rather than when I was in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade when I read this. Like if I find the character a little bit more annoying as like I'm older, if I still love it. I remember one of the last lines in this book just gutting me and my middle school self. I'm really excited. I cannot wait to reread this book. And into the white circles. We literally just had that one. I think it's something new. A book that has a verb in the title. I like this one a lot. All right. Spin number 3. I can't use that one because I just put it on. A book set in a different country. The Wheel spun a book that was set in a different country. For that, I chose This Time Next Year by Sophie Cousins. This was my book of the month, I believe, last November, and I will just now be getting around to reading it. This book is set in London. At least that's what my notes say. Yep, London. It is about two people who were born on the same day. Like they were, I believe it's like, oh, let me read the summary. Why am I like reading the summary, like trying to explain it when I normally read it to you guys? Anyways, it says, their lives began together, but their worlds couldn't be more different. After years of misconnections, they're about to meet again. Minnie Cooper knows two things with certainty. That her New Year's birthday is unlucky, and that's all because of Quinn Hamilton, a man she's never met. Their mother gave birth to them at the same hospital just after midnight on New Year's Day, but Quinn was given the cash prize of being the first baby born in London in 1990, and the name Minnie was meant to have as well. With luck, Like that, it's no wonder each of her birthdays have been more of a disaster than the one before. When Minnie unexpectedly runs into Quinn at a New Year's party, on their mutual 30th birthday, she sees only more evidence that fortune has continued to favor him. The gorgeous, charming business owner truly seems to have it all, while Minnie is on the brink of losing her pie-making company and her home. But if Quinn and Minnie are from different worlds, why do they keep bumping into each other? And why is it that each fraught encounter leaves them both wanting more? A moving, joyful story this time next year explores the way that fate leads us to the person we least expect, no matter what the odds. So I just thought that this book was very seasonal. I am most likely going to read it when I think that I'm not going to finish it in December, so I'll start it in December but not finish it, so I don't have to worry about it. If it's really good, I don't have to worry about it messing with my lists while I pre-make all my videos for like Bookmas and such. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. It sounds interesting. I've never read anything by Sophie Cousins, nor have I heard of her really. I don't know if this is her debut. I don't think it is. I also just really, really like this cover, so we will see how it goes. A readathon prompt. So for this one, I would go on and I would find a readathon and I would pick a prompt from there. Spin number 4. Oh, you gotta spin it again. A book on my self-destruct list. The wheel spun a self-destruct circle, which like 2 months ago, 3 months ago maybe, I made a video of 5 books on my shelf that if I do not read them by the end of September 2022, I have to unhaul them even if I haven't read them. And for this one, I chose Better Off Friends by Elizabeth Olberg. This says, for Macklin and Levi, it was a friends at first sight. Everyone says guys and girls can't just be friends, but these two are. They hang out after school, share tons of inside jokes, their families are super close, and Levi even starts dating one of Macallan's friends. They are platonic and happy that way. Eventually they realize they're best friends, which wouldn't be so bad if they didn't keep getting in each other's ways. Guys won't ask Macallan out because they think she's with Levi, and Levi spends too much time joking around with Macallan, or maybe not enough time with his date. They can't help but wonder, are they more than friends or are they better off without making it more complicated? From romantic comedy superstar Elizabeth Olberg comes a fresh, fun examination of a question for the ages. Can guys and girls ever really just be friends, or are they always one fight away from not speaking again and one kiss away from true love? So, interestingly enough, this book already is giving vibes of 10 Days, or Top 10, which was one of the other books on my self-destruct list. This book feels really short. It's like 278 pages. So it'll be a quick read. It's actually probably going to be the next book I read after what I'm currently reading. And yeah, we'll see if it is a book that I actually like, or if it would have been better if I had just unhauled it. I just want to put a disclaimer in here that my self-destruct books, they're not necessarily books that I don't want to read, they're just books that I haven't been drawn to, and I don't see that it makes sense to keep them cluttering my TBR section of my closet, which is why I put them on that list and would unhaul them. This isn't like a book that I think I'm going to hate necessarily, but if I do end up DNFing, there's no such thing as a soft DNF with self-destruct books. It is just like, you're out of here, I'm done, you're gonna be unhauled. So yeah, Better Off Friends by Elizabeth Olberg. All right, and for the final draw. We're gonna just put this on anyways. It's a book with disability rep. I know I just got this in November, but in January we're completely resetting the wheel. So it doesn't really matter because I can't get this triangle anyways. So we're just gonna put it on so there's something there. All right, and the final spin. I never ever get this rule where like they can't land on the same triangle. They never seem to land on the same triangle. It's happened like 4 times this video. That's so weird. a book that is out of my comfort zone. Oh, wait. Never mind. Not a big deal. And not a big deal at all. So the wheel spun a book that was out of my comfort zone. So I chose that for that one. I am going to do Capturing the Devil by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the 4th book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. And as I said earlier in the video, I have made a Stalking Jack the Ripper book my 2nd book read every year for the last 4 years. So I probably won't start this book until like mid to late December. But I just want to make sure that for the final book, it can be the 2nd book that I finish. And I feel like if it's on my December TBR, I can manipulate it more than if I try to put it on my January TBR. I'm going to listen to it in audio. I am also going to try to find a copy that looks like this because I do have a copy of all the other 3. And one day when I have a bookshelf, I do want to have them all on it. But I'm not like I need a physical copy now because I know that I read these books and consume these books better through auditory than through like actually reading them. So I am going to read this one via auditory or audio. I always want to call it auditory, but that's not the right word. It's the 4th book in a series. I don't want to give too much away, but yes, I will be listening and reading Capturing the Devil. So that is my TBR for December. I will be honest with you guys, this TBR was so hard to build, and I think it was because I had to try to find 2 rereads and fit them into prompts that weren't just like rereads. Because normally I would just like either like it would be a book that's already like on my mind to reread it. Like earlier this year, I really wanted to reread One of Us is Lying, and like that I would have like tried to find a prompt that fits that book rather than trying to find a book that I already read to fit 2 prompts. It was really hard. And then also like not knowing necessarily which prompts I was going to use for rereads made it really hard. But now I'm really excited for almost every book on this TBR, and I'm nervous that I won't be able to read all of them in the month of December. I am hoping to finish though the book that I'm currently reading relatively soon. So hopefully that means that I will not really have to worry about this and it's all just gonna work itself out and I will be able to read all the books. But yeah, I'm really, really excited. Let me pick the books back up so we can talk about what they were. Just as a recap reminder, I will be reading Capturing the Devil, Tears of a Tiger, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Better Off Friends, and This Time Next Year. Typically I do try to order these books in the prediction of how much I will love them, but considering these 2 books I've already read, I will not be rating them. So like these are technically in order. Like I think that I will like This Time Next Year better than Better Off Friends, but we will see. Overall, I'm really excited for this upcoming reading month. Let me know in the comments down below how you're feeling about this upcoming reading month. What is high up on your TBR? Are you excited about anything? I would love to know. As well as, I don't know. Like I mentioned earlier, I will be resetting the entire wheel in my January TBR. I've seen people do it in the past and I like it. I like this like idea of a fresh slate going into a new year, but I am planning to bring Wheel of TBR into 2020 as well as a couple of slight changes to the way that it works. I also am planning to do some version of 12 days of Bookmas, so I will have a lot of videos coming up in the next few months. I'm actually planning on trying to film one now if I can make this lighting work. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you very soon in my November wrap up. Bye, Worlders. Hey, Worlders, welcome back to the wheel spun a, oh my god, what did it spin? Oh,